Is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to another installment of the Chelsea match preview. This time we are previewing Arsenal versus Chelsea, the fixture that we all know and love. Arsenal fans hated it, now they love it. Chelsea fans loved it, now they hate it. And right now, oh fuck, we are not looking forward to it. But I am your host, Marshalldbdx, accompanied by my lovely panel of Scott, Oliver, and today, and you know what, I should have, you know what, no, we're doing this the right way. We have a special guest on our show today, who some of you may or may not know as the American Idiot. And God almighty, he is an American idiot, let me just say that. But we love him. He is an American waffle with me. And ladies and gents, he was so kind as to do the show with me today and the preview. Let's go ahead and give it up for TJ Warren TV. Even though I had you on the panel for a second and I totally forgot.
You gotta remember, I called into that randomly just because I was just trying to get some of the dragging out of the way that I was going to catch the entire weekend after we got bopped out by Bayern. So
yeah,
it is what it is. What?
And you can still hold that.
Yeah, people are gonna run those agendas. Chelsea fans who are Tuchel fans but weren't a fan of Tuchel at the time, but now we're a fan of Tuchel because he bopped us out. Marshall, they've been on our neck. Everybody's been on our neck. Huh? Literally, the entire top six has been on my neck. So obviously, I was happy to see us win at Wolves. It helped relieve the pressure just a little bit, but. Hey man, there's still 5-6 games to go, so we'll see what happens. But thanks for having me on. So glad to be here. Big up Oliver, big up Scott, big up the chat. Let's do it.
Yeah, and now you're like officially here. You're not here as a call-in guest.
Yeah,
like we're doing a whole show. Pardon me, we're doing a whole show together now. But ladies and gents, before we start this off, as always, if you haven't done so already, wipe your feet on the floor or wipe your feet at the door, not the floor. Because I want my floors to be squeaky clean. So wipe your feet at the door as you come onto the stream by smashing that like, hitting subscribe so that you are adding on to that goal of ours to get to 3K. Be sure to help us out with that. Also, hit the bell notification so you're notified whenever we do go live. Check out the links in the description so you know where to find more of our content. I'll also be posting TJ's channel down there as well if I haven't done so already. Maybe I did. I don't remember. And also, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you want to say to TJ. Do you want TJ to hold that? Who knows? But you need to use the comment section so that you can let us know. And last but not least, check out the memberships because we have 4 different tiers in the membership area starting at 99p. And big up to everyone who's been so helpful and has given us their memberships. Which, by the way, it does remind me. I was supposed to give a special shout out to Coco624. I forgot you last show, so you're gonna get a shout out at the beginning of the show and at the end of the show because I forgot you last time. So Coco624 in the house. All right. Anyways, let's stop clowning around. Let's start to get more serious, but not really, because this is just a chill vibe. This is American Idiots, but in the casual sense. Ladies and gents, let's start talking about the Arsenal versus Chelsea game. I guess, TJ, we'll start off with you, man. What is your feeling going into this Arsenal game? Just to give some context, man. Prior to the Wolves game, you had 2 losses on the trot, one against Villa in the league. Very, very demoralizing in the sense that now it seems that you've lost control of the lead of the league, and it's now out of your hands. And then to get knocked out again by the last club that knocked you out of Champions League, it sucks. And I'm sure the players are very demoralized. But to come back into the league and beat Wolves convincingly, how you feeling, man?
I mean, I'm feeling okay. And I hate to say it, I just think I think we're getting extremely lucky. Going into a game, going into a game where you guys have lost 2 of your best players, and Palmer and Gusto, where obviously you guys have been plagued by injuries most of the time. So I think, I'm feeling confident going in that we should be able to get a win. But Arsenal, being an Arsenal fan, it's death taxes and your heart getting broken in April. lately. So we'll see what Arsenal shows up. But yeah, I mean, going back to the Wolves game, I made clear that I wasn't like it was a good performance, but it wasn't a great performance.
Okay.
We were going up against a Wolves side that was missing Neto, missing Cunha, missing a good chunk of their regulars due to injury, which right now the injury bug is hitting other team our opponents really, really hard, where I think we're looking pretty good right now, almost fully fit. Saw we're back playing with the under 21s today too. So we're looking like we might be 100%. But yeah, going back to that Wolves game though, I wasn't 100% convinced. We had 25 shots, 9 on target. 2 obviously went in. I think we're lacking. We're still lacking that clinical finish. We're going to need to get us over the line, and by over the line, I mean we're going to need to win out in order to even have a chance at this league. It does, screw drawing screw losing. If we draw, we're done. The season's over. I'm on vacation, right? We obviously, like you said, losing to Villa 2-0 prior to the Bayern match was an absolute killer. It was in our hands. Now it isn't. So we're going to be looking over at Man City and saying, hey, who's going to blink first? And typically Arsenal blink first when that story is told. But yeah, man, I pissed off a lot of the happy clappers in my fan base the other day by criticizing the performance of some of our players. Again, I don't think Gabriel Jesus in this lineup is doing very well. I wasn't really a fan of the lineup that we played against Wolves, so I hope that is an indicative of what he's going to do in the future by continuing to play Havertz as a center mid and Jesus as a 9. You risk having the goal output that we had at the beginning of the season, which was mediocre. We were barely winning games. We weren't losing, but we weren't winning convincingly. Whereas the latter half of the season, after that Dubai trip, we completely changed it up. We completely changed our attacking posture, our starting 11, and we were, we scored what? It was like 35 goals in like 6 games or something like that, 6-7 games. I mean, those are unreal numbers. So hopefully, we're not regressing towards the mean in that respect, because in the league and against Bayern, you could see it. We have a little bit. I don't think, prior to the Wolves game, we hadn't scored in the league in 3 games. So
oh wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And what games was that? That was the City game. What else?
Man City, Villa, and there was one other one that I'm not thinking of. That's gonna bug me. Hold on. Yeah, we hadn't scored. Yeah, or maybe we had scored like 1 goal in those games. I don't remember, to be honest. All I know is since we restarted play, our attack, since March 31st has been, up until Wolves, and I still have some criticism for the Wolves match, was piss poor. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, I'm confident that we're going to be able to get the win against an extremely depleted Chelsea side, and then we're going to have to go to Tottenham and go up against an extremely depleted Tottenham side. But obviously, we're focused on Arsenal and Chelsea, and we've seen what Chelsea. There's no reason we should lose this match, which is why I'm approaching it carefully, because if we get lackadaisical at this point of the season, then we were never contenders to begin with. So yeah, people might say, oh, TJ, Standards FC, oh, we had a good season, we saw improvement. No, I want to see trophies, and right now it's looking like we're going to go with a big old goose egg again this season. So hoping that happens, and yeah, we'll see. But yeah,
okay,
approaching it carefully, bro.
And I see that. We'll come back to the standard of Arsenal a little later on in the show, and where you sit on that, and have a discussion on that. But Chelsea boys, I guess, giving context to us, we had, a big moral boost with the Everton game, 6-0. Our best performance of the season, I would say. Which it's been so weird. Like, this season's been every other game is either our worst performance of the season or our best performance of the season. It's very, very strange. But that being said, the 6-0 win gave us a big boost, and then we just all of it to be deflated by a plethora of missing chances by Nicholas Jackson in the Man City game in the FA Cup. And it's unfortunate too because it was one of our few chances to get into Europe. I know some of us in this panel think it's absolutely not possible to get it in the league table. Some of us still have a little bit of hope, but who knows? This team is too inconsistent to really tell. But I guess, Scott, to start us off, man, how do you feel about Chelsea going into this game?
I don't think I've ever been more apathetic about a Chelsea-Arsenal game in my life. I don't care.
Fair enough.
Like, for me, the season's done. Fully, I'm on holiday mode, and I'm on chaos mode, as you'll come to realise in a moment with what I say. But yeah, the City game just took everything out of me. That was our Champions League. It sounds silly and, quite frankly, pathetic to say, but that was our Champions League final of this season. That was our guaranteed chance of making Europa League. Right now, we're reliant on two teams doing something. We had when we were relying on like 5 teams and 3 teams let us down, and like actually 6 if you include City as well. I'm tired of being reliant on other teams to do what we can't do. Like, if we have to rely on 6 other teams to win their specific games, we don't deserve Europa League. And Conference League outside of, like, I'd like Conference League because you can give time to young players, but it doesn't benefit us anyway. And I'll be completely honest, if we have this manager in charge next season, bro, Bratislava away is going to be a nightmare. We're going to get bounced out. Like, I'm not even joking, by the way. Lille gave Aston Villa a game. Lille gave Aston Villa a game. Let me just go and look at where Lille are currently in Ligue 1. They are currently 4th in Ligue 1, and they gave Villa a game. Bro, any mid-table, half-decent side, European side, will bounce us out of that competition if Poch is our manager next season. So yeah, I don't care. And I'm nearly at the point with this fan base as well. And this is more directed at the portion of the fan base that wants to, crawl under their rocks when things are going well. There are people that I heard nothing from when it came to this team and certain players for months, because they were playing well. Certain players were playing well, but the moment that they missed some chances in a final, now they're coming out of the woodwork to tell me that he's not good. Cool, where were you when he was playing bad? At least some guys were consistent. Goonie, for example, man knows football. He was consistent. Even when we were playing and winning, were playing, I won't say well, but even when Jackson was playing well and he was scoring and contributing, he was still on the same train if he isn't good enough. But some of these men want to hide and not say anything until he didn't even have a bad game. He just missed some chances. And now they want to come out the woodwork. Cool. So for all you, man, like I said, I'm on chaos mode. So chaos mode means I want a 5-0 battering. Havertz hat-trick. I'm not...
Huh?
Okay.
Chaos mode.
Why?
Yeah, TJ,
Why?
you've never met Scott before. You never met him last season when he wanted us to suffer.
I was going to say, I told this fan base I wanted them to suffer last season, and we suffered. And we have suffered since.
To be fair, a lot of this fan base deserves to suffer. I'm not going to lie.
I was going to say, like,
I
for me, it's just a case of, like, what we've turned into. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, TJ, but we have turned into how I viewed Arsenal fans when that you were under Wenger, like, towards the end of his reign, where it was just, like, you overhyped every young player. You kept trying to do this like bullshit flip-flopping thing with certain players, and you kept doing this nonsense thing, and we've turned into that, where it's like I said, the whole Jackson thing of like, I heard nothing about Jackson the last few months since he's come back from AFCON. Nothing. We're nearly 3 months since he's come back from AFCON. Nothing. I heard nothing about Jackson because he was playing well. But again, one bad performance in a final, and it wasn't even a bad game. He just missed chances. Like, he was dominating that back line, apart from Diaz. When he came on, he dominated the rest of them. Missed some chances. Everyone says he's not good enough. He can't lead the line. Cool, you weren't saying this when he was scoring against Everton and when he was contributing. Because it didn't fit. Because you wanted to be proved right, because you're a coward.
In the preseason, And that's exactly what Scott was saying, by the way, with the Arsenal hype. In the preseason, these guys were saying this is the next incarnate of Drogba.
Yeah.
Getting the numbers a lot, like, oh, the number when Drogba started at Chelsea versus the number that Jackson chose.
Caicedo, the next Mukiele, like, you're hearing that kind of
Makalele.
shit. Makalele.
Listen,
but that's the thing is like this fan base wants to do this nonsense where it's like, and I see the nonsense about Madueke, like I don't care like that he was laughing at the end of a cup final. Or cup semi-final. I'm gonna be so honest. I just don't care because there are more important things to worry about. Like, and I see the fact of like this fan base still wants to give Kukurea shit. They still don't want to like talk about Chilwell. They still want to do their usual bullshit. Cool. We can do the usual bullshit when we get battered 5-0 by Arsenal. And I'll just laugh because they did that last season.
Mm-hmm.
We were conceding goals and I laughed.
Scott, sorry. Yeah.
I said we were conceding goals and I was laughing. There was a Champions League game we were playing. I can't remember who we played. We were playing a Champions League game and I was watching Napoli versus AC Milan.
Oh, God.
That would be the Real Madrid tie, I believe.
I think so. And we conceded and I laughed. While watching the game, I was enjoying more. Like, that's the thing with me. Like, this... I said it tongue-in-cheek when I said it last season. And I didn't mean to suffer for us to suffer for as much we had. But some of this fan base needs to suffer, not for a different reason than why I said it initially. This fan base needs to suffer for their bullshit that they have conducted this season. For the nonsense that they have gone through this season.
That bullshit.
So let that chaos happen.
I get it. Yeah, Joe, Scott, you were not joking. You are on full chaos mode. Oliver, are you on full chaos mode?
I just say I'm beyond the point of caring. Like I'm not wanting it like Scott's wanting it. Wait, hold on a sec.
He's punching back in.
Yeah. So I'm not really like. I mean, I don't mind us to suffer because at the end of the day, I just don't care anymore. You know, at this point in the year, I've got better things to do in my life than watch Chelsea when we're not going to do anything. And like Scott said, that was our European Cup final. That was our Champions League final. That was our World Cup final. Whatever sort of comparison you want to make, that was the golden game right there. And I'm not blaming Poch for it. Everyone's got to take a bit of accountability. We all failed in that instance, as I said in the previous streams after that game. So I just don't care. I mean, tell a lie, I did care. And then I see the news about Parma and it's just like, oh, well, we can't even, we can't even spoil other teams' parades. So like, what are we doing here? Do you really expect us to do anything without Cole Palmer and Malo Gusto? I certainly don't.
Yeah, I mean, TJ, does that paint a picture of where the Chelsea fan base are at for the most part?
I would have thought you guys would have. I mean, no, yes and no. I would. I'm surprised that it's this bad, especially after the kind of a little bit of a bright flash in the pan, as you guys might view it, that you saw against Everton. I mean, Everton, they're fighting for their lives, and you guys bopped them off the park. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it was a great game. Obviously, Cole Palmer is an absolute menace, but I'm not 100% shocked. And maybe I have a question for you guys. And I observed something, and they were talking about it.
How dare you take over my show? No, just
kidding. I know. I'm a host to people, so you gotta let me know. Obviously, if I take.
No, I genuinely don't give a shit. I'm just busting your balls.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say you look like you really care. No, but I had a question for you guys. So they were talking about on ESPN the penalty that you guys had against Everton, right? You had players arguing over who's gonna take it, right? They're literally like Madueke and Palmer. They're like pushing each other. You could see that there was actually a verbal fight going on. Do you think that there's disharmony in the locker room, or just a lack of plan from Poch? Because honestly, like, aside from us gifting Kai Havertz a goal, we have our penalty taker most of the time, and that's because
well, we don't, and that was the problem up until that instant.
Okay, I was gonna say, because you guys, how do you guys not have a designated penalty taker at this point?
Hey, Marshall,
you tell me.
I was gonna say, you saved shit. I haven't saved it. I can't, and I tried to find his quotes and couldn't find it. There was, because we had this incident happen.
Remind me which quote you're referring to.
the quote where he said we don't have a penalty taker, it's down to the players. When the Sterling thing happened,
Try to find it.
It came out in October, but there's been screenshots going around.
I'd say it came, but he also said it again after the Sterling incident. I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of we don't have a designated penalty taker, it's down to the boys to decide. Which means you leave it down to the players to choose between themselves. So that allows for stuff that happened with the penalty incident. That's why, like, outside of like the Jackson thing, like even the Jackson thing, I don't really have anything against the players in that situation, like, because like he enabled this. Like, if you just say, "Oh, he's our penalty taker," which he finally did, then you stop that from happening. And if it happens, then we know, okay, these guys are just like acting petulant and like trying to cause a problem when there isn't one. But you said, cool, this is for the guys to decide. So they're deciding. Like, you've got Madueke, who, by the way, and this is, again, we go back to this fan base. People are talking about the Madueke having a poor attitude. The penalty incident, I don't know if people actually watched it properly. Madueke didn't even do anything wrong. He picked up the ball, said he wanted the penalty, and then had the ball taken from him. He was the guy who was keeping Jackson away from Palmer after it was decided Palmer was going to take the penalty. He was the guy who then told the Palmer scored, no, go and celebrate with him, and made sure the whole situation was squashed the moment it happened after he scored. Apparently he has a bad attitude because he was laughing after or some bollocks, I don't know. But yeah, it comes from the manager not choosing a designated penalty taker. This thing has happened, this same incident or similar incident has happened 3 different times. And it's happened with 4 different players, if you include Palmer.
And one time it arguably led to us not converting a penalty.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that one time you're thinking about?
Sterling against Leicester. He nicked it and then he missed.
Oh, true.
He was in no position to take that penalty.
We've had 3 different incidents of the same thing happening. It happened with Sterling, it happened with Madueke, and then happened with Madueke and Jackson. So if you include Palmer in that whole nonsense as well, that's 4 players included in 3 separate incidents.
You can even include the reverse fixture when Sterling tried to take it against Arsenal.
Oh yeah, and Enzo stepped in. Palmer.
Yeah, I can't find the exact quote, but I found something close. Let me see if I can pull it up right now. But yeah, TJ, pretty much to answer your question, it's very much the latter. I think the whole crux of it is that a lot of it is Pochettino doesn't have a plan. And, you know, people want to say, oh, we need experience, and all that shit. And we've talked about it on this channel multiple times. With Poch, the reason Poch needs experience is because he doesn't have a structure. When you have players with experience, you don't need to give them much instruction. You don't need to give them much do this, do that. These players are 21, 20, 18 years old. Like, you know, they need like some type of like do this, do that. They need direction. They're not independent, don't know what to do in every scenario. Like, you put an 18-year-old in the biggest stage of the world in the Premier League. Even worse, you put him in Champions League and you tell them, okay, express yourself. What the fuck are you going to expect? Like, these kids are going to crumble. Like, listen, and I don't mean to harp on the Champions League with you, but you had a young team going into there. And you saw how at home you guys were nervy. Raya was nervy. You know, Gabriel got nervy. Your players were making mistakes. This is what happens in Champions League, in big moments, in big games, when you don't have that experience. So to a certain extent, when you don't have a system, I should say as well. To a certain extent, I have some sympathy for Poch not having experienced player in this team, but at the same time, I'm not here to excuse him and have him just cover the cracks of his flaws by having some experienced player just carry the mantle for him. And this is essentially, I think, the quote that Scott was referring to. Here, let me pull it up right now. Boom, boom.
That's just so crazy to me. I don't know.
No, it is. It's wild and it's crazy. I don't know if a lot of Chelsea supporters know this, but there isn't a dedicated penalty taker at Chelsea. I was asking Poch, shouldn't you nail down a penalty taker? And he said, look, I know Palmer is a specialist, but if he gives the ball to Raheem, that's on him. I can't go on the pitch.
So
You
again,
could
another
say
problem with
something.
Poch
You
is-
could
You
yell.
could, you could see, and that's what I'm talking about. You guys are talking about how it's a youth movement at Chelsea, but you have no leaders. Well, shouldn't the manager be the leader at that point?
100%.
Like that's just
And
I just
also-
think that's absolutely wild to me that you would let something as simple as that go unaddressed.
And you know
So
what
that's-
bothers me, Scott?
That-
Just before you
I
go,
was just-
you know what baffles
go
me? Arteta, who has less experience in the highest level of management than Poch, has shown me more bottle than Poch. It's insane, and that's Arteta. No disrespect to Arteta. I think he's still very young to the management game, but he's definitely overachieved based on where Poch is. Honestly,
Correct.
like.
And
Go ahead, Scott. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say that, like, the thing as well that you notice with this quote is, again, it comes back to another problem we've had with Poch, which is lack of accountability. Like, look at his last bit of that quote. That's on him. I can't go on the pitch. No, then just like, why is it on the players to decide who's the penalty? Like, I did this, or we had a thing. So I remember a training session we had when I was playing football, like Saturday League. We literally, at the end of one training session, because we had a conversation about penalty taker in a game, because I think we were going into a cup game, and we were like, okay, well, if it goes to extra time, and like what we do about like penalties. We literally, at the end of a training session, did a quick like go through where we took penalty till there was one guy left, and they were the designated penalty taker. I did that like 13, 14, playing Saturday League. Why is it so difficult for you at your big age of 40 something, I think, or 50 something, whatever you are, when you're a professional manager, to decide who the penalty taker is?
Yeah.
Considering that we had a different... Hang on. Considering we started the season with one penalty taker and then changed it midway through the season. So you obviously decided, okay, this guy is now our penalty taker, because you changed it in the middle of the season.
Yeah. So I feel like there is to a certain extent, yes, the inexperience plays a factor, but with inexperience, you need to establish structure. That's why when we go to school, we have a structure. We have a schedule we follow. We follow a structure. We follow a routine. We go to lunch at this time, so on and so forth. This is what you do with young kids. Even to college to a certain extent, there is a schedule you follow. You go, you park your car here, you walk to campus, you go to this schedule. You can't just tell players to go out there and express yourself. Like, you just can't. You can't.
The Premier League.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the Premier League. So it's funny too, because like, I don't think he's as bad as Lampard now, but when he's at his worst, he is as bad as Lampard was for us, and Lampard was shit for us, and you're very well aware of that. But yeah, going into the game though, it's like it's very hit or miss with this team, and I don't know. Like, I feel like part of me wants to believe that this team, now that they just crashed out of the FA Cup, they're going to come motivated to get a point, to get something out of Arsenal, and especially Nicholas Jackson, which we need to talk about Nicholas Jackson, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Nicholas Jackson, despite everything that happened in that game, was absolutely phenomenal on the day. The only thing where he failed, and that's the one thing that is having people just completely air him out, is the missing the clear-cut opportunities he had. And I saw different angles of those opportunities. It's just insane to me. And I think that comes from, again, lack of experience, lack of confidence. And yeah, it's obviously when the game happened, I was upset, and obviously, like, when I look at where we are in this league and how we got to this point, all eyes are on Poch because of how bad we were in the beginning of the season, how many players we played out of possession, all that out of their not possession, I'm sorry, out of their positions and so on and so forth. But for this game, I can't entirely blame it on Poch. I know we had this discussion yesterday where I have partial blame on Poch, but that's something that I'm probably going to have to defend on the waffle. But Nicholas Jackson, I feel, after that game, probably has to redeem himself. And I feel like that's going to be a factor. I feel like these guys, like, after they have their asses completely handed to them, they all of a sudden just come out and play like they're supposed to. And it's really strange. So for me, I feel like that's going to be a factor for us. And I know you expect your team to win, but at the same time, you weren't very convincing in the first game.
No,
So
we weren't.
tell me what exactly you think has changed from that game to this game that makes you think that this will be different. Besides the fact that you guys are at home, of course.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, and well, here's the thing though too, is we've been better away than we have been at home. So you got to consider that. You got to consider that away as well. Like the Emirates has not been friendly confines for us. We got turned over by Villa there. We drew to Fulham. We got bopped by West Ham at home. Our away record is better than our home record. So it's not necessarily a oh yeah, we're at the Emirates confidence thing. It's just more of a you guys are a hurting unit kind of thing. I think without Cole Palmer, without the likes of Cole Palmer, without the likes of Gusto, you guys can be got at by our club. And it was like I was saying, when did we play you guys? October 28th? Was that what it was? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
yeah, it was. No, was it? Yeah, it was October 28th because I was away on vacation.
Yeah, so that was. I just remember thinking throughout that entire game, we're possession FC. We should be putting more shots on target, but I was feeling that same way. August through December until they got through that Dubai trip, because we were not scoring enough goals. We just weren't. Right. I think we theoretically fixed that problem if we go back to the football that we were playing prior to March 31st. We beat quality sides. I mean, we bopped West Ham away 5-0. And I would say that West Ham and Chelsea are sort of the same quality, especially with these injuries that Chelsea have right now. So that's where I'm confident. I want to look up the starting 11 for that Chelsea Arsenal game and see who we played in that. Let me go back. Let me find that, because that's important as well. When we played you guys, I don't think we were playing Jorginho and Rice in a double pivot 6. We're still trying to hamstring Kai Havertz into sort of a hybrid 8 at that point. Still playing Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right. Martinelli has not had a good season, especially with the fact that he has no left back behind him to help him. Kiwior, while he's a good left back, he's not a great left back, and he doesn't offer a lot going forward. And Zinchenko offers a lot going forward, but he offers nothing in defense. So it's one of those things where we got to find that balance. And when we played you guys before, we didn't really have that balance, in my opinion. We were still trying to figure things out. Arteta didn't know. I think Arteta still isn't sure where he wants to put Kai Havertz, and that's a big problem. Our players have been suffering for it since we got the 2-1 win against Forest. If you guys remember correctly, we were playing Thomas Partey at right back because we didn't know where we were going to put Havertz, and as a result, Gabriel gets dropped. So I think what gives me a little bit of more confidence here, and why I think we're going to win, is because we've sort of figured those out, and I hope that Arteta actually goes to his proven starting 11. Which I'm not convinced that that playing Havertz in the 8 is a good idea, but I am convinced, and we have seen pretty good results from playing, kind of Rice in a hybrid 6-8 on the left and having Jorginho right next to him pinging balls over the top. Like we saw that work for 2 months straight. Like, what we had 9 league victories in a row. Yeah, it wasn't against the best opposition in the league, but we beat West Ham, we beat Liverpool with that lineup, with that setup. So go with what works and don't overcomplicate things, in my opinion. Play Trossard. If you have to play Kai Havertz, play him in a 9, play him in a false 9 with Martinelli. Honestly, it really doesn't matter who you play on the left at this point. I would say Trossard's earned it, but yeah, with Trossard on the left, Saka on the right, and that midfield, and you're golden. You're golden, in my opinion. Which is why I think that's what gives me the most confidence. Just don't screw up. Just Arteta. I'm going to talk to Arteta. Arteta, don't screw the lineup. don't screw with the lineup. Go with what's worked, please. Let's not overcomplicate things, especially against our rival. I mean, we're in a derby week, people, because after this we have to go play Tottenham away. And if we have to play Tottenham away and we drop points here, we go with our heads down to White Hart Lane, it would be a difficult day out for us. And I don't care who's injured for them either.
That was for Arteta. That was for
Arteta. That's my message to Mikel Arteta, the best looking Spaniard we know. So yeah, that's why I'm confident. I mean, it's like a cool confidence too. I'm not even trying to be arrogant about it. I just think it goes without saying we have the players to do it. It's just whether or not they decide to show up. So obviously we're going to have to keep an eye on Nicholas Jackson. We're going to have to keep an eye on Mudryk because Mudryk likes scoring against us, obviously. And you know, we'll see if Enzo and Caicedo show up too. Caicedo loves playing against Arsenal. Maybe not for Chelsea, but when he played, he bought himself the park when he played for Brighton at right back, 4-0 last season. He was playing right back. He absolutely pocketed us. So there are players in the Chelsea lineup that we still have to look at, but overall, our quality is better, and the way that we set up is better. We do have a system. It's just whether or not we can execute on it. That's really it. So.
Yeah, I mean, fair play. I mean, it does give you an advantage. You guys have a style of play. You have something for you. But like, and I would say, like, I think the midfield battle is going to be. I'm probably going to give it that Arsenal are gonna beat us on that because I love Enzo, but right now this guy's playing with a hernia. He's been playing with some hernia, a sports hernia, for about a few months now. It's probably been since the winter break, to be honest, that he's had that sports hernia. But
no, he got injured. Like he missed. I can't remember when it was, but he missed that Wolves game. That
in the winter,
what's his name?
December.
Ugochukwu got injured because he came back. Enzo missed that game that was the game he missed from the sports hernia.
Yeah, I think this is the same exact thing, pretty much.
By the way, Marshall,
since
Simon,
he's been playing with that. Jesus
Simon
Christ.
Phillips has shared a report. If you want to believe the source, then you can do. But there is a source that has said that he has had his operation now.
Oh,
then why is he playing?
No, he's had it since the cup.
Oh.
Yeah, then there's likelihood that we don't even see Enzo. And that's the thing.
Again, if you want to believe it.
So that would imply then that he had it yesterday
or Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Basically, yeah.
Yeah, yesterday or today, depending on when he reported it.
Yeah.
Kind of why you
if this is true, I mean, because the thing is, like, you know, Enzo, despite what people may think about him, and obviously a lot of it's rival fans, Enzo is a very important player for us. You can see if you had, I think it's the way that you guys appreciate Jorginho, and you can see what Jorginho brings to the team. It's nothing flashy. It's nothing phenomenal. But it's good. It's consistency. It's availability. And on top of it, it's, you know, a lot of it's possession, creativity. He does make chances for you guys. Enzo does that. Like, where Jorginho is more defensive, Enzo dominates in the offensive aspect of it. And it's not seen. Like, people don't want to talk about it. And obviously, Agenda's got an agenda. Stuffy.
Stuffy fraud.
No, you see the breakaway chance that Nicholas Jackson missed that we're all criticizing him for, where he runs past the keeper and decides not to shoot it. Yeah, that comes from an Enzo pass, and people won't talk about it because it never turned into an assist, and that's been Enzo has been the main culprit of robbery when it comes to assists and key passes, and so not having Enzo is going to be pivotal for us. It's going to stink. Not to say that Gallagher can't do a job in the pivot. I don't want him to be in the pivot preferably, but against Everton it worked out. Not to say you guys are Everton. It probably won't work out for us at all if he plays in the pivot. And we have Caicedo as well, who, you know, he's on and off. I think a lot of the times when he's off, it's because we're overusing him. We have no one else to use him to replace him with. Lavia's been out all season. Ugochukwu, who was another player that we were supposed to be using and rotating in that position, he's been out for most of the season as well. So our team's just been absolutely plagued with injuries, which a lot of these injuries, TJ, whether you believe it or not, or if you know this or not, a lot of these injuries are happening in training. That
why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Because we blamed our pitch when we were having a bunch of injuries last season.
I was saying this yesterday, and it makes sense to me in my head because I remember that when Leeds just got promoted and we saw Leeds playing Bielsa ball, Bielsa had players falling left and right. Am I mistaken in saying that? I'm pretty sure I'm not. Bielsa had injuries left and right. Players are falling apart because
particularly in his second season, yes.
So I think in this instance, because Pochettino's of the same school of thought, and when you see the football, to a certain extent, it looks kind of similar.
He is a Bielsa disciple.
He is a student of Bielsa. It makes me think that the training is way too intense, and there are reports in the past that he would have players train full training, conditioning training, the day of a game. Or the day before of a game. What was it again, Scott? I remember you told me.
There's two things. There's three things. So our injury situation, I don't know about anyone else's, but our injury situation is twofold. It's Poch and it's the medical team. It's Poch in the sense of players that get injured that have no prior injuries. So, for example, Disassi, Enzo. I'm trying to think of us. I don't know if I'd include Lavia in there because he had No, I'd include Lavia actually. No, Lavia's in there. Yeah, one injury and it was a year before we bought him. Those kind of guys. There are three things when it comes to Poch. Number one, there was when he was at Tottenham, he had, I think, 60 plus injuries in his first season. There is also quotes, not reports, there are quotes of him saying that he gets players that come back from injuries through double sessions. And then there was one other thing. What was it you said, Marshall?
I think that he had them train the day of a game or something like that,
yes.
or the day before a game.
That was the byline report, that right?
Yeah, there's a report that he gets the players to do their most intense training session the day before a game.
It's like stuff like this, because TJ, it's one thing like if you're seeing these players on the pitch getting a knock and a tackle here, or you see them come off limping and stuff like that. That's not been most of the case this season. It's been a lot of fuck you, Das. Big up, Das. It's been just these things that are happening in training, and no one sees what's happening in training. No one has like a fly on the wall there to really observe what's happening, but something is going on. So it's just very, 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 very hard.
As I mentioned as well, like it's not all on Poch, and this is where I say it's twofold. There is also we have a problem with the medical team in the sense of
we've had problems.
Whatever we're doing in terms of recovery is terrible because you've got guys that get injured almost immediately after coming back. That's not necessarily a Poch issue. That's an issue of these guys haven't been rehabilitated properly. The recovery is piss poor, whether that be from a diet perspective, be from like a physical like training perspective in terms of the day-to-day rehab they're doing. Like, for example, I understand he's injury prone. Ben Chilwell is now injured again.
Are you serious?
Yes.
What is he injured? Is his ego injured because he made the bad pass or didn't make the pass?
I have no idea. This is a man who came off the bench for 15 minutes in the cup final and already has picked up an injury. I don't know how serious it is, but the report that came out today about Gusto and Palmer also said that Chilwell is currently undergoing rehabilitation.
Well, same problem he suffered the last few weeks after being with the national team. So knee injury. Of
course, the same injury. We have had no end, and again, this comes back to it. We've had no end of injuries in terms of the same injury and no end of setbacks. Badiashile must have had 6 setbacks this season when it comes to injury. Carney must have had about 6 setbacks. Lavia has had about 12 injuries slash setbacks this season. Ugochukwu is the same. Ugochukwu, does Ugochukwu exist? We sent him to the Shadow Realm?
Huh? Yeah.
Apparently, he's in partial team training now.
But that's the same
For an
partial
injury,
team training that
December.
everyone else. Yeah,
Exactly. His prognosis was February. I don't know how it's gotten 2 months later. But yeah.
Oh, actually, TJ, you're gonna love this. I don't know if you know about Do you know about the situation with the Lavia injury?
No, I don't know what's going on with Lavia.
Oh, you're going to love it.
I know he hasn't played a minute of football for you guys.
Oh no, he
35.
has. He came
35
on,
minutes.
35
Oh,
exact.
Sorry.
He came on for 30,
Let's have it right.
He came on
Let's have it
He
right.
came on for 30 minutes against Palace. Got a knock. It was, I think he had a knock with Elise, on his thigh. So it was reported after the game. Okay, he's got a dead thigh or something, or a thigh problem. But it was
Bruised thigh.
He's going to be out bruised thigh. That was the thing. He's going to be out for 2 weeks. No worries. 2 weeks rolls by. No update. Don't see him. Nothing. We don't hear anything. Then about a month later, we hear that it might be a more serious thigh injury, and it might be, it might be a torn thigh or a partial tear, whatever. Then what was about 2 weeks ago, we hear he's done for the season with this thigh injury.
I heard that.
He picked up against Palace and was meant to be a 2-week injury out of the season.
Welcome to Chelsea Football Club.
I'm loving this. I gotta watch more of you guys. But no, that's absolutely insane. No, I mean I obviously watched the Cup semifinal. Everybody does. But I mean everybody did. But no, that's absolutely crazy that that a thigh bruise. It had to have been more than that. He had to have torn something off the bone. That's you don't bruise a thigh and then you're out the entire season. That's crazy. So there's something they aren't telling you.
There's a lot of insight to Chelsea that that's why when I go to American Waffle and I blame Poch for things, there's so much that you guys don't fucking know. And I'm not even saying you, TJ, because I don't feel like you gaslight me like the other boys do on the panel. That
just means it's been a while since I have. But go ahead. Sorry.
Fucking dickhead. So it's just so I get gaslit into believing that it's not on Poch, and it's like, dude, you don't understand what is going on here. There's so many things behind the scenes that you guys have no fucking idea. Everyone wants to take a game by game basis, but it's also look at the last few, look at the whole picture here. So funny. And I got to give credit where credit is due. I feel like in recent games, it's been more on the players than it has been on Poch.
Yeah.
But there are still some decisions here and there that I'm just like, why? What are we doing here? I think it was even recently, too, where Ben Chilwell came on and he put him on left wing again. Even though we decided way, 15, 20 games ago, we decided it's not going to work. And he stopped, and then all of a sudden, we're just going to put him in again. So it's just these weird decisions that he's making that is just making people look bad. And I think of all things to come out this season, for us, I think what's going to hurt people the most, and we were just talking about Ben Chilwell, you're seeing how many players we have injured, we're seeing our unavailability. I think what's going to hurt us the most is the fact that now because Gusto's not available, we're going to have to play Cucurella. Potentially, he's going to play right back, which we've done earlier in the season. And then we're potentially going to have to shoehorn someone into left back. And the problem with that, and I think, Scott, you may know where I'm going with this. The problem with that is that
I don't know where you're going.
He had a left back all season, and he didn't play him because he was too short. And now that left back is scoring goals in Champions League for Borussia Dortmund. His name is Ian Maatsen. And he has a release clause at the end of the season that is, if it's triggered for 30 million, he's gone. So there's no chance we're getting him back because there's no way Dortmund or any other club doesn't pick him up.
Also, by the way, you're wrong, by the way. He's just going to play Disassi at right back.
All right, fair enough. Might happen to. Yeah, okay. I could be wrong.
Or Gilchrist, you could be feeling Zesty.
Disassi right. Disassi right, and then Cucurella back left.
Yes,
Yeah.
thankfully.
You know, now that we're discussing this, my chest is really going away now. Like, I feel like we are going to lose now. There's no way we can win this.
Again, like the pressure is on for Arsenal right now. Well, it's not. I don't think it's as big. It's as big. We can only do what we can do. But I mean, if we lose to this Chelsea side, man, like, no offense, I'm
taken.
Like,
shame on you if you lose to us. To be honest,
no. And that's what I'm gonna say is, and everybody calls me an Arteta fence sitter. If we lose to this Chelsea team at home, we definitely don't. Exactly, we definitely don't win the league. So then I'm gonna have to be like, well, Arteta didn't get the job done again against a manager that doesn't have a leadership, isn't a leader. He doesn't have a leader in the team. You guys are like injuries FC over there. Like, bring out the Gurney FC, Mash FC, and so I'll be extremely disappointed if we drop.
Well, I meant to ask you this. TJ and Chelsea boys. I think maybe we can have some input on this as well. I understand that in the last 4 years of this project with Arteta, you guys have spent somewhere near 800 million in signings, maybe 750, somewhere along those lines. You're very close to $1 billion spent.
Yes,
I would say a lot of those signings were very not good signings. I wouldn't say a lot, but like a good chunk of signings in positions where you need them to be.
75%, I would say, are mediocre or bad. Yeah,
like for you to want a striker and get Gabriel Jesus, that doesn't work out, and then you go and get you didn't get Kai Havertz for this purpose, but now he's playing that striker role. It's money badly spent, and you spent money on strikers twice, and now you still need a striker, which is, I think, insane to me. Same thing goes for some other positions.
I mean, this is
speaking, they spent money on. I'll say technically speaking, because I think Lee and Northside were speaking about this when I was on Lewis's channel earlier. Like, technically speaking, they've spent money on 3 strikers. Because don't forget, they renewed Eddie Nketiah's contract and gave him an increased wage.
That is true. But
so they increased his wages for him to be third choice striker now.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, we're calling him the white flag. Is his new moniker now? It's not Eddie Murphy and Nketiah. It's called the white flag of surrender. Because when you see this guy, when you see this guy out on the pitch, it means we're done. We're done out here. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, my question was, what I was alluding to is that I know you guys haven't won any trophies yet. No majors, at least. You're competing again, and to a certain extent, I understand where the Arsenal fan base that want to stick with Arteta are coming from, with the idea of like, dude, last time we were in this position and we decided to, step up our game and find a manager who can take us to the next level, we capitulated and went to the dark ages, which you guys did go through, and Arteta took you out of it, right? I mean, where I'm at with you is that, do you feel that you'd rather just stick with Arteta another season to see if these positions that you need get rectified? Do you think that, maybe stick with Arteta, maybe he can do something and maybe finally cross that finish line? Or are you of the mindset like, you know what? He got us this far. He's only going to keep us here. I think I'm confident if we get someone else, we can cross that finish line.
Yeah, the latter, because I did this last season where I said, okay, let's give him one more year. We give him the checkbook one more time, and we'll see what he can do. And obviously, he got an easy A with Declan Rice. Declan Rice wanted to come here. David Raya wanted to come here. Whether you like him or not, he's the guy that we got. So, and Yuri Timber, great signing until he got injured, and then really looking like he was going to be a baller. I mean, and he was back playing with the under-21s today, bagged an incredible goal. So hopefully we're seeing what some of what Timber can provide next season. But if we don't win the league, Marshall, I don't trust this guy to spend another $250,000 or $250 million, because that's what it's going to take to fill out the shopping list. Which, by the way, and I said this on my channel, so forgive me if you guys have heard this before, but this is the exact same shopping list going into this offseason that we had last season. We need another 6. Party is not good enough. He needs to go. He cannot stay fit. He's good enough, but he can't stay fit. So what's the point in having him? We need to sell him. Our fullbacks can't stay healthy. Zinchenko, not good enough in my opinion. Probably need to sell him. Jesus, not good enough in that 9 position. Hasn't been showing that he's title winning quality as a regular starter at either the 9 or on the left or on the right. So you're looking, and then you're looking for, what are you going to do? You're going to sign Jorginho again? Like he's getting old. Yeah, the price or the expiration date on that guy is looking like it's coming quickly. So like, don't get me wrong, I think he's solid, but he's liable to put in a stinker. He's too slow. Unfortunately, he's too old. So yeah. You're looking at another fullback, another 6, a 9, and potentially a winger. This is the exact same thing. So why would I trust the guy who went out and got Nuno Tavares, Sambi Lakanga, Fabio Vieira, Marquinhos, who we haven't seen? Big up, Andrew. And I'm going to have to go here in a minute, guys. So big up. Sorry. Thanks. Yeah,
we'll do score predictions, and we'll probably talk about the lineup. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, just real quick, because I gotta start wrapping up. Is like we got to move it to another manager to bring in players that will jive with the other players, because right now he's batting his batting average for bringing in good signings is pretty poor. True. If I was doing my job correctly over the summer, 60% of the time, I'd probably be getting fired. So I think some of the signings that he's brought in were either unneeded. You could argue that David Raya wasn't needed, or just plain useless. Like Fabio Vieira, in my opinion, Sambi Lakanga, Nuno Tavares, Marquinhos. You can go on and on and on. And then one more thing. And then we're keeping players that we probably shouldn't have in this club still. So what is Mo El Neni still doing here? We're just paying that guy to put the training shirt on and sit on the bench. You know what I mean? So the criticism of this manager, yeah, people might say it's harsh. He has improved the club from where Unai Emery left it and from where Wenger left it. But it's time, if we don't get it across the line now, it's time to look in other directions to say, okay, what we know we have the players. Who can we bring in to push these players to the next level? Right? So that's my thought on it. I just don't trust him to spend the money. I think that's really fair, and that's probably like the fairest assessment of why I would sack Arteta this season, or why the Arsenal fans would sack him this season. But yeah, I mean, I know you got to wrap up, so I don't want to hold up your time too much. Give us a score prediction, and then shout out your channel and what we're going to be doing later today.
Yeah, big up. First of all, thank you guys for having me on. This has been I've been a fan of Casually FC even before I met Marshall, so it's
nice.
Great.
Thank
and obviously, and obviously me and Surfer do some damage over on Sarcasm City TV as well. He's been and on Pro Clubs. Let's be honest. So yeah, 4-1, I think Arsenal.
God damn. Oh my god, that one actually, I've heard that bomb in my head before I pressed it on the soundboard.
At home, no excuses. I still feel like we're gonna do something dumb, and we'll see a goal from Jackson. But yeah, I mean, we have to be more clinical than we were against Wolves, and then we'll score 4. I think we'll score 4. So yeah, a big up.
4-1 TJ.
I'll listen in the car on my way to my doctor's appointment, so I can listen to you react to that one. But big up, guys. Yeah. You can catch me on TJ Warren TV. We are 8 subs away from 1,100, so I really appreciate you guys helping me out. Big up to the Casually FC folks. You will see me tonight with Marshall on American Waffle, obviously. And then we'll be doing match reactions, match reviews for the Chelsea game tomorrow as well. Until next time, thanks again, Marshall. Big up, guys.
Big up, TJ. Have a wonderful day. Hey. Big up to him, man. 4-1 is pretty
Yeah, it's not
crazy.
far
I'm not
off, I
gonna
would
lie.
think.
All right, well, Scotty, you give us your predictions then.
I was gonna say 3-1
Well,
Arsenal.
actually-
To be honest. Like in all seriousness, I know I said like 5-0 Arsenal earlier.
Yeah.
And like it would be funny if we actually saw that. Like I would laugh personally. But on a serious note, I do think we lose, and I think it's 3-1. Like I can see us scoring, and I can see it being Jackson and the whole fan base turning around and saying, "Oh, he is the striker for us, and oh, he's really good, and he plays so well, and he's baby Drogba," and all that bollocks after they just criticised him after the final. But yeah, I think we lose. I think especially without Palmer and without Gusto, I don't personally see how we win. And if Enzo's out as well, and if Enzo's out as well, it even means that we're probably playing Mudryk at 10. You'd assume Sterling come back in. We don't know the status of how fit he is. If he only played like 8 minutes against City, it means he can't really be that fit. But yeah, so I'm not confident.
That's what I was gonna actually talk to you guys about for just a little bit before we end the stream. Is considering the injuries we have now, what do you think we can do to win this game?
I think Palmer's going to play tomorrow.
You think? Because he's out, apparently. That's what everyone's saying.
I think they're going to dose him up on Calpol. He'll play tomorrow. Paracetamol, whatever it is. No, on a side note, I was just on another stream for a preview, and I went, "What do you think Poch would do? What do you think Poch would do?" And I said, and I said, "He might be mad and play Chilwell on the left wing." And then someone went, "Oh, don't you know Chilwell's on the injury list?" And I went, "What? He came up at 10 minutes. He's under medical assessment. What's his medical assessment for? See if his neck can turn to the right or something. Is that what a medical assessment for? To look up. See if he's got a brain or something like that. He comes on 10 minutes. He's already on the injury. I mean, what the fuck?" No, Palmer plays, I think. I think Palmer plays and everything like that. I think we can snatch a draw. I really do.
Wow.
I think Arsenal are running on fumes at the moment as well.
Okay.
It was a tired performance against Wolves, and he doesn't really rotate that much. I don't see him rotating that much. Maybe odd one here and there. Maybe a Partey comes in or something like that. But even on the weekend, Partey didn't look like he even knew he was going to play on Saturday. So stuff like that. I can see us making a few changes. Like I think Enzo will be left out, and I would like to see Chukwuemeka brought in. I don't think he will, but I can see like Sterling being brought back or something like that.
Yeah.
I think we can get a draw, but the more likely result for me is that they win like 2-1.
Okay.
Then
Not
I
4-1.
don't predict TJ's 4-1. Just don't, because I don't think they're clinical enough to score 4.
You also haven't had a wide margin like that in a while.
I think we treat Arsenal. We played against Arsenal near enough the same way we played against Man City.
Yeah.
No, okay. It's where we dropped off, let them have the ball, don't press up high, but press in the midfield, let them misplace the pass, or we tackle them, we burst on them, and we go on a counter attack. Like we've done with City. So we've done it against Arsenal as well. This time, though, we just not go over our goalkeeper, do a bonehead moment, give them a goal, and they're back in the game. Do you know what I mean? Since they're out of it. So I'm going for like a 2-2 tomorrow.
Okay. I think that is fair.
I mean, it'd be interesting because I don't do starting lineups anymore because I don't know what Poch is going to do. I can't predict it. Like for instance, if Chilwell was fit, I could have easily seen him play Chilwell at left wing tomorrow. Some weirdness like that. I don't know.
That's the unfortunate thing.
I think he's going to play Disassi at right back, but I think that'd be a mistake tomorrow. I put Gilchrist in. I think he's better built for a right back role than Disassi is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I just think he is. But yeah, and then I think you stick with Chalobah and Thiago Silva. Keep Kukurea. Keep some. I think what he needs to do for the rest of the season, barring the fitness worries, is to keep some semblance of a continuous back four. Whether that's the centre back partnership itself, or if you can get 3 out of the 4 and the goalkeeper, just to continue for the rest of the season, just to get us through the rest of the season. Because after Arsenal, we got Villa next away on Saturday night. In the UK, so it's like,
and then Spurs after, right?
No, it might. Hang on, where's it? Spurs after?
I think it's Arsenal, Villa, Spurs, and West Ham.
Spurs on the Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Oh man, the part that concerns me the most is the injury. This is just like this season has not ended. Like even under Tuchel, like we had our patches and patches of like we lost all our defenders, we lost all our midfielders, we lost all our attackers, and now we're good. Everyone's okay. And right now it's nonstop. It's like we get 2 back, 3 fall. Like it's insane to me.
Also, when it's Jackson, I want everyone to understand this.
Yeah.
As soon as everyone here in the chat, on the panel, Chelsea fans, as soon as people realise that Jackson is this generation's Solomon Kalou, then you will change your view on him. Okay? He is more Solomon Kalou like any other player we've had recently. You'll frustrate the F out of you. Now, the reason that no one really dunks on Solomon Kalou, because at the time he had the Didier Drogba, Nicolas Anelka, Florian Malouda in attack as well. But he was not the main man. From Jackson, he's the main man. But as soon as if we're getting another striker, another winger or something like that, you should then look at him as only as this version of Solomon Kalou, which means his conversion rate is going to be like 1 out of 6 or something like that. He's going to score. He's going to score some ridiculous goals like he did against Everton. Yeah, and he's going to mess up some simple chances like he did at the weekend. You know what I mean? But he's going to score anywhere between 12 and 15 goals per season, all comps, to get like 8 assists or something like that. But he's also going to score important goals. So you need to balance it out. Stop thinking he's a pure number 9, because he's not. He doesn't have the killer instinct to be a number 9. Because he overthinks. At least not yet. He overthinks.
I think people also need to remember how much he's cost and how old he is. Yeah. But he's 22, 21? I believe
22.
Yeah, he's 22. He cost us 35 million euros. We didn't buy him to be a number 1. I think all of us on this panel, when he was purchased, we all recognized that he wasn't going to be the number 1, that the future plan was going to be to buy an actual number 1. I think all of us recognized that was the plan. And somewhere along the line, a large portion of Chelsea fans just forgot that. So it is. Yeah. Well, yeah, we know there. I don't know if you said fickle or thick, but I'm going to pretend you said fickle.
Both work.
Thick, like thick-headed?
No, stupid. No, stupid.
Okay.
Idiots. Right. Morons. I've ran out of words to describe idiot. So.
No, I understand, and I agree with you to a broad extent. But okay, so Andrew predicts a 2-2, and Andrew predicts that actually Cole Palmer may be fit, and then we see through it. Which if Cole Palmer is fit, I could see a 2-2, and if defensively, and remind me, guys, I think for the Arsenal game, Disasi was our right back too, wasn't he?
No, it was Gusto.
Gusto was.
It was Gusto? Okay.
Yeah, because he messed up at the back post for the equaliser.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. There was a game where I was like, dude, we're fucked with him at the right back, and he was just fine. It is what it is. Don't need to.
It was a cup game, I'm sure. It's the one where he scored. You remember the one where he ran up and won the ball back and then ran all the way?
Was that Aston Villa?
I don't think so. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think it might have been Preston. You know, the 4-0.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Preston. Yeah, it may have been that. But, okay, so, Oliver, I'm curious. What do you think is the answer to victory here, based on what you know and what you think is going to happen? And what do you think is your prediction?
was very hard to know because he could play Gallagher on the wing for all we know. Like I think it's just easy to say 3-0 L and move on. They'll keep a clean sheet against us, because the thing is, like, I know you were talking about earlier with Jackson. He's got a point to prove. What if he gets in his own head? What if he gets in his own head because he has a point to prove? This is a young kid, and
I mean, have you seen instances of that? Really?
Yeah, but then again, he hasn't cost us as dearly as he did on Saturday.
Yeah, that's the one thing I got to give Jackson too. Like, I feel like he hasn't been good at the finishing aspect, but throughout the whole season, he's been consistently in decent form. Like, I haven't felt like there's been a long patch of games where he's dropped his head completely. Say that again, Scott.
No, but that's why I said that's what I explained this like yesterday when we were talking about him. Like, that's why we'll not give up on him, because like, for as much as he is frustrating, right, and like he does miss chances, or he has missed chances, he still performed in terms of numbers to about the numbers I expected when he came in. If anyone expected more from him, you're an idiot. Like, if you expected more from Jackson and you're now criticizing him, you're an idiot, because you obviously rated him to a certain level to think he was going to get more numbers than he would do currently. But also, like I explained yesterday, he took Van Dijk and Konate, which is one of the best centre-back partnerships in this league, and held his own. I wouldn't say he dominated them, but held his own. He dominated that City back line yesterday, on Saturday, up until Diaz came in. And Diaz, again, is one of the best centre-backs in the league. Like, he has done that to multiple centre-backs, where he has like at least held his own, if not dominated. And it's like, cool, I'm seeing that from Jackson. I've got enough where it's like, next season, for example, I'd love to see him as the what's it called? As like a winger, potentially. If we do get an Osimhen and we don't upgrade the winger position, I'd love to like have a couple games where he plays left wing, because we haven't had a big start. We've had like 2 games where he's played left wing, and one was bad and one was good. So I want to see like a bigger sample size for him being able to do that and see what he could do in that situation,
Do you know what the ironic thing is, Scott, with Jackson? He'd actually work well in a wing-back system, not as a wing-back, but as one of the 3 up front, but just off the main striker. He'd work,
do you know what?
Well,
I missed the start of the conversation, but I was listening to like a little bit after I jumped off while I was waiting for Marshall because he was late again. I was listening to like a little bit of Lewis's stream like after Daniel went on earlier, and it's like I caught the end of it, but they were talking about, I think, Villarreal and them using a 2-striker formation. I would love to actually see him in a 2-striker formation where he's the more mobile of the two. So like, say we had like an Osimhen and a Jackson. You have Osimhen's the target man, quote unquote, or the more like the one that's kind of in the box and staying still, and he's the one that's linking up play, dropping in, being almost a number 10 at times. That would be quite interesting to see.
Yeah, I think he. That's what I'm saying. In the summer, if I'm Chelsea, I'd look to bring in 2 strikers. I'd look to bring in a main one and a sub while keeping Jackson, and have Jackson as one of the front 3 if you're playing 3 or off the striker, whatever. That's what he do. And I forgot to mention tomorrow, what Chelsea should have done weeks ago was strategically buy tickets for Chelsea fans to go into the Arsenal home section. You then run onto the pitch several times to get the game thrown out while still wearing Arsenal memorabilia. Arsenal then get charged for not controlling their fans, and they forfeit the game 3-0 to us. And the title is over.
That is better tactics than what we've seen from Poch most of the season. I'm not gonna lie. So you know what, Andrew? That's a round of applause for Andrew. Andrew should be the next Chelsea manager. Winter Surfer for next manager.
That'd be like one of those series where that pops up. How did this happen? And it's just all flashbacks about it.
and when Matt Law comes out and drops the news on Gallagher being disgruntled with the manager and the Chelsea, it's just like, all right, yeah, because Andrew doesn't want to play Gallagher. No surprise there.
Someone's put it. Keep Fofana. He might be you could use him as the backup striker.
I wouldn't mind keeping Fofana next season. I think we've expressed
no
this.
problem. backup striker, get the main one,
Same.
and you still got
Yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah,
That's what you can do.
Yep.
What we need is an upgrade severely on the wings, because Mudryk is shit. Madueke's not far off shit either. Do you know what I mean? So it's like they're not, and I don't mean it says at this. I would even dare compare Kalou to one of those two players, because that'd be an insult to Kalou. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's that they're both rubbish, in my opinion, right now, because they're not. They cannot be the number one options. They need to. For me, if I was to update, if I'm getting a load of wingers, I presume Sterling's going to stay because no one's going to pay him those wages. So you keep Sterling as an option. I'd send both of them on loan next year. Both on long contracts. They're both young enough. Send one of them to Strasbourg, one to somewhere else, and bring someone else in. I had some crazy thing. I had some crazy thing on Spaces today. I'm not going to even say if it's true or not. It's like the transfer room's always hotting up with people that say they know certain people or we've spoken to certain things. But that's what I would do next season going forward. But yeah, I think Fofana's an option to keep as a backup next season.
Fair enough, I would agree. I think I would like him as a backup. Even from the little I've seen of him when he was at Chelsea, I'm sure he's improved since then. I like his style of play. I like the way. Yeah, and yeah, we do have an Nkunku too. Yeah, I forgot he was supposed to be out for just a few weeks, and he's probably out for the rest of the season too.
I forgot he was our player. I just forgot. I went blank.
Yeah, no. Most of us have forgotten half of our team. Remember Ugochukwu? Good guy, man.
We sent him to the shadow realm, bro. He doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I think what they have to do some type of seance to summon Nkunku back. Like the hoods like that, and the dark hoods and stuff like that.
This will be the seance.
Oh my god, bro! I'm a joke. Oh my god, bro! We're a joke. We're a joke.
Anywhere where I can fit that in, I will. Sorry, Steph. You just have to hold it.
I've not seen any games of Angelo. I've not seen any games of Angelo, but the problem is Angelo.
Santos
I think Angelo back in me because I've not really seen him a lot. He'd be thrust into it like Madueke and Mudryk would.
I think the thing that we need to do though, I think number one, it depends on if we get Euro. Number two, you need to actually what the manager needs to do is quite clear that Poch hasn't done this, or if he did it very fucking poorly. Is you need to actually assess the squad and decide who the starting lineup is. Because I'll be real, if I'm just looking at this squad and actually, never mind the squad, if I'm looking at that attacking four and I'm saying everyone's fit, I'm going into next season with before I do anything else outside of the striker business, which needs to happen, I'm going into next season going, okay, before we do anything else, before I say I might make another signing, but I'm going my front four with everyone fit is Nkunku at the 10, Palmer on the right, Jackson on the left, and a striker. Right, let's just say Osimhen. Then from there, I can assess, okay, cool. So I need maybe two wingers. Am I going to stick with, who am I going to stick with of the pool of wingers I've got? Because obviously Angelo and Hutchinson will be back. You'll have Mudryk, Sterling.
I presume Sterling's going to stay, even if they try and get rid of him.
Potentially, yeah. And but that's where I'd assess everything, right? And you assess if you've got any offers for anyone and go from there, right? And again, for the striker thing, assess what you can do with Fofana. That's the thing. We need to do is start with a basis of who is going to be the starting front four if we're going to play a starting front four, which I personally, because of the personnel we have, think we should do, right?
Yeah.
So then just go from there. Because that's the thing, it's kind of pointless us going, oh, let's bring Angelo back and I personally think we should talk about I think Hutchinson should get a chance in pre-season. Whether he stays or not is a different matter, but should get a chance. But it's then all of a sudden we're talking about we have four right wingers at that point.
Yeah.
So cool. You need to assess what's going to happen with Madueke. You need to assess what's going to happen with Mudryk and Sterling. You need to assess the guys that come back from loan. You just do a lot of assessing and go from there. Because if we decide that okay, Jackson isn't the starting left winger, we probably need a winger as well, like a starting left winger.
Yeah. So I would now for the rest of the season. I don't really care what if we got a chance to get in Europe. I'm starting Carney every single game I can unless he's injured for the rest of the season. I'm just starting him, whether that's in the 10 or helping out further back. I'm just starting him because he's an option as well. He's already shown he can do that job, and he's already what Saturday also proved to me is that Palmer can do the Gallagher job in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
He can trade, he can trap back, he can tackle, but he can also pass effectively in attacking sense and also attack, which Gallagher can't do all at the same time. So I would start Carney for the rest of the season just to give him the minutes, because I think Carney is a great squad option, and even in some cases starting. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
But Poch should now.
I was going to say,
if we're being serious, Poch, you're right. Poch should be looking at his squad going, who do I want? If he's staying, which I presume he is now because of what's happened today with the Almiron news for Liverpool and Bayern Munich still in the hunt for a manager, and possibly Manchester United entering the market as well. Then I think it's more. Unfortunately, I think it's more likely that Poch stays next season.
The only thing that's like, for me, the only person I think we will get if we get anyone is De Zerbi at this point. And the only positive thing,
especially Almiron not going to Liverpool, potentially he's going to be on the list.
I'd say I think the only positive thing, because I thought De Zerbi would go Bayern, but apparently they're looking at getting Ranieri in.
I think AC Milan are looking at De Zerbi as well. I read today.
That doesn't surprise me with AC Milan. AC Milan have tried with Ranieri for years. In fact, I think they got him as a director or some sort of position a few years ago, or they tried to and couldn't agree something. But yeah, and I think that I say the only, I thought Bayern were going to get him, and I think it's us or Liverpool that get De Zerbi. That would be the only reason why he leaves. But yeah, I personally don't think he leaves either, because I think they're going to run out of options in terms of who to get instead.
No be the ironic thing. They keep Poch this summer and say, so I don't want it to happen, by the way, before anyone says anything. I want him to succeed. I want him to literally give everyone the finger who's doubted him next season. Do you know what I mean? Like that, literally like that, and shut me up. That's what I want. If he doesn't, and I know he's like linked to Real Madrid and Bayern Munich and something like that, but they might throw all their eggs in and try and lure Alonso in like that. Alonso's already said he's not leaving. I don't think he leaves before the end of next season. Not for this summer. I mean for
the following summer,
like 2025 summer,
when Poch runs out of contract.
Bro, if they throw away another season.
Oh no! I'm saying they're not deliberately throwing away another season. I'm saying if next season we have the same sort of similar season, they're not meaning to, but it ends up like that. And Alonso is only really staying at Leverkusen because they're in the Champions League, and he wants to probably manage them in the Champions League and stuff like that. You can see them maybe lining up something and throwing the bag at him, or whether he accepts or not is totally.
Andrew, I'm being completely honest. If we have a similar sort of season next season that we've had this season, and he makes it further than November, giving up on these owners. These owners are irredeemable.
Yeah.
Oh yes. I totally. For me now. For me, even if he stays on next season, my mind's sort of made up of Poch. I'm sort of in a zone where, at the moment, you're not going to get me to move out just because he's going to stay on. So it all now goes to the fact of, okay, owners, you now see where we are short, and we still need to spend on certain areas. You need to now make it, what they need to do is to spend on, no matter the age of the player, is to spend on established players, good players. Okay. Now, if they do that, and everyone in the fan base is like all in agreement that, do you know what? Last season of summer, you bought all these players that didn't work, but you've bought players that we've rated. The focus then goes on Poch.
Yeah.
Because you would have gone, what the owners and directors, they've actually done a U-turn, they've actually bought quality this season. They bought really good established players, no matter the age, and they give them Poch, and Poch is still effing up, then it's all on Poch. It's not on the owners or the directors, because the owners and the directors, only buy players. They don't set out the tactics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did want to mention on a side tangent, by the way.
Yeah.
Inter Milan just won the Scudetto.
Yeah. 2-1.
The last 5 minutes of the game, there was 5 players sent off at the last 5 minutes of the game.
What?
You win a title.
Yeah, they were just really fighting it off. There were multiple bust ups.
Sunday league style. That is right there.
You had Romagnoli elbowing players and Dumfries getting grabbed by the collar, and they weren't able to split them up. It was pretty great. But we were doing the predictions. We have Andrew with the 2-2, Oliver with a 3-0 to Arsenal. I guess, Scott, what do you think for this game? Coming back to the game, what do you think the strategy to win will be, and what do you think the score line will be?
I honestly don't think it should be too dissimilar to the first game we played and too dissimilar to what we did against City. Like, just disrupt that midfield. Like, that's the biggest thing. Is like we've seen when it comes to Arsenal and comes to some of these players, right? Depending on who plays.
Sorry.
No, Romagnoli plays for
used to play for AC.
He used to play for.
Like I'll look him up. Go
ahead. Yeah, like we've seen what the what's it called? I can't think what
Calabria. That's who I knew it was. Sorry.
We've seen like the game plan. That's what it is. We've seen what the game plan is against Arsenal and City and these type of teams. You just need to follow the same thing. Like, get whoever is in the 10, whether it's Palmer, Gallagher, whoever, right? To just be a nuisance on whoever the DM is, whether it's Partey, Jorginho, Rice, whoever. If it's not Partey, if there's someone other than Rice in the DM and Rice is in the 8, get Gallagher to be a nuisance to Rice as well. And just disrupt that midfield, because then they'll lose possession, especially if they end up playing the Donkey and Martinelli up front. They'll lose possession plenty of times, and then you can just hurt them in transition. It's what we did with City. We just actually needed to hurt them on transition, which we didn't do. That's what the game plan is. And it's like that should be the game plan. We can play that well effectively. We've already shown that this season. And so just do that, and then just don't. All I'm asking for with Poch, I know I'm asking too much because it's Poch, is don't do stupidness with the subs. That's all I'm asking for. Don't do stupid.
Can I say though, I low-key think that's how we should play all the time. The way we play against City, not as intense. We don't have to be as intense as we were against City. I don't mind that style of play. I don't mind that counter-attacking. I mean, it's laughable. It's laughable people, even in our fan base, going, "Oh, Enzo Costello had such low passes." Yeah, because that was our tactics to let Man City have the ball, numbnuts. Do you know what I mean? Our tactics were to break it and pass it on, idiots. Oh yeah, the goalkeeper had more passes. Yeah, we were playing out from the back, stupid. Do you know what I mean? It's like stuff like that. But I low-key think that's how we should incorporate. That's the style of play we should use we should play. That's the style of play.
I wouldn't mind it.
Of course, you don't have to put Gallagher on the wing every time, but low-key we should have that. And I also think that tweet with Didier Drogba to Jackson is very significant if you know your history. Didier Drogba's first 2 seasons, he wasn't prolific. He's never been prolific, but he struggled his first 2 seasons. And the end of the second season, there was actually some of his fan base wanting to sell him in the summer. So while I think that Jackson can get better, I don't think when I say he's more like Kalou in his style play, he will never be Didier Drogba. There's no one who's ever going to be another Didier Drogba. Didier Drogba is a unique striker in world football that's ever been. There's no one in the history of football who's going to be like him. That's all.
And the thing is, it's like
unique.
Players shouldn't look to be the next X player, right? You should you should be looking to be the first them.
Yeah.
Like the
Cole
first
Palmer, for example.
Them. And Like, Cole Palmer isn't looking to be the next, I don't know,
People are
Messi
comparing him
or
to
the
our
next
next Eden
Hazard.
Hazard because we haven't had a player like him. Yeah.
But he's not Hazard because
Exactly.
he doesn't play like Hazard does. Because he's not Hazard, he's his own player. That's the thing. And that, like, these players won't be the next X because they don't play like that player. They play like themselves.
Yeah. Like, there are players that will remind me, like, of how other players used to play for us. But at the end of the day, I recognize that they're going to be their own player. And they should be. Because there's no reason we should be putting these, especially on the first season. Because, like, listen, I appreciate everything Palmer's done. But I want to see it next season as well. I don't want to, like, I was fooled into this with Mason Mount under Lampard and Tuchel. And then we saw what happened with him. Foden, we're seeing it now. He's done this consistently. Saka has been doing it consistently. If we want to have these conversations and comparisons that Chelsea fans are already jumping the gun on with comparing Palmer to Saka and all that. Okay, cool. Let's see if he does it next season, and then maybe we could start the conversations.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Next season, if we get an actual, let's say, a good striker, an actual striker, number 9, maybe a better left back, something like that, and our injuries are lessened than what they have been this season. It's arguable that Cole Palmer's stats, goal-wise, may go down, but his assist stats might go up even more. Yeah? Because if you actually have other people around him with that, it's less burden on him to score the amount of goals on them. He's going to have probably more assists than goals next season. If you're going to get a striker like an Ottoman or a Tony or something like that, there's more of a chance that his assist stats will go up, especially. And then if you're incorporating Cuckoo in, you incorporate Jackson. You have a fitting Cuckoo, something like that as well. It might go down a bit more, but it'll still be high. But then it might go down to he still might post ones where you go, wow, okay, now we're getting a sort of what's the word, evidence or build or whatever, CV, whatever, of what he can do season after season. For me, it's important what he does next season. This season, no one expects him to do this. He's well exceeded anyone's.
100%.
Even the ones who were like, yeah, Cole Palmer's a great signing. He's exceeded their expectations of him because there weren't really any. So next season there will be expectations.
100%.
Even before anyone signed, there will be more expectations next season of what he's done this season. So that's where we need to now, the board and directors need to fucking look at this, not do a Ben Chilwell and just look up, or not look up, but just look forward and not look everywhere else. Look and go, okay, some of these signings haven't worked out. We understand that. Some of them, there's a 50-50, but some of them have, like Cole Palmer, Gusto, etc. Jackson to a lesser degree. I think Jackson's actually worked out pretty well for the price we paid for him. But we've got this core now. What do you think of? I think Caicedo's improved this season. I think Enzo's had a mixed season, but not like what the rivals keep saying and what some Chelsea fans keep saying. Let's now get Reece James back fit, get Nkunku back fit, get Fofana at the back fit.
Lavia.
I forgot to mention, I need as good as I think Petrovic can be, his kicking on Saturday left a lot to be desired, in my opinion. But get goalkeeper for me, get a striker, get the 2 points sorted, and then the rest of the spine can fill itself out. But let's get them back so that we can support and we can go up in the table. Let's do it that way. But I don't care about the age anymore because age doesn't matter because Cole Palmer's 21. No one mentions his age.
Exactly.
Okay? It's about the quality now. It's quality. Incredible players that everyone knows that can literally come in and do a job.
Yeah.
Now we've got an actual people that have been here for 18 months to a year, established, probably going to have the same manager, so there's some type of relationship there. What we can say is that whatever you think about how we played this season, I think the players are with him. I don't think there's a breakdown relationship. 100%. I just don't. We're not hearing any reports come out either. You know what I mean? Usually about this time when the manager's not doing well, or we think they're not doing well, we'd hear all the back chat and stuff like that. But they need to take a look and go, okay, we've got this core of how many other players. We need to bring in the quality now and we've got the foundations. We need to building it, because there's something here now. Okay, no matter where we finish, there's still parts of this season. As much as for me, it's more on the downside than the upside. But I've seen brief patches and stuff like that. There's something to go by. That performance against Everton, okay, it was against Everton, but there's something there. You know what I mean?
I mean, we struggled against Sheffield and Burnley, so
exactly. But that's the problem. Struggled against Sheffield United and Burnley, and then in all 3 games against City, we should have won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and against Arsenal, we should have won.
Yeah,
against Arsenal, we should have won. So it's like,
yeah, and I get where you're coming from. I think, and you I think you hit the nail on the head, Surfer, when you said about getting quality players. Doesn't matter the age. Like, for example, and I'm not saying we need this position.
You put Impartial Blues coming up. I think that's quite actually.
This one.
Yeah. I think that has more relevance than a Hazard. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's.
With players, by the way, like there is a player that I actually would really take now, and I was thinking about this. Funnily enough, during the cup final, because he played for the other team, I take Ortega. You want to talk about someone that would be an improvement on team?
Okay.
Yep. Wouldn't cost a lot. Has experience. Has been captain at his previous club. I know people say, "Oh, it wasn't big," but was previously captain. Has played for Pep. Has played at City. Knows what it takes to win now. Is good with his feet. Like the fact that he comes in for Edison and doesn't really look out of place.
No, he's too old now at this point.
No, he's not. But the whole point as well, the whole point, if we're looking, Neuer's.
I like Neuer. He's my favorite goalkeeper of all time, but I think he's too much.
Neuer would probably work. Like my thing is, if we're getting another goalkeeper, right? For me, the goalkeeper we have to look for can't be another 26-year-old, because that kind of defeats the purpose of us doing what we've done in terms of with Petrovic and Slonina. Like if we go and get another guy who's 26, cool, then you might as well sell Petrovic and Slow. What's the point? Because he's not going to play then. Because when he gets to the point where he's good enough to play, this goalkeeper we bought is still going to be 20, 29, 30.
But
still in their prime.
The thing is, Chris, though, I understand. I love Neuer. Don't get me wrong. He's one of my favorite goalkeepers of all time, arguably my favorite. But if we're going to be linked to Neuer, I might as well just get Emi Martinez. I feel like Emi Martinez can give me more years than Neuer can.
No, but Marshall, that's the whole point. Is I don't want a goalkeeper that's going to give me more years, because we've already got I don't what's it'd be similar. It'd be a bit different because you'd expect the quality to be a bit better. It'd be similar to what's the situation with Ramsdale and Raya at the moment. I don't want that. I want a Courtois check situation where there is a clear moment when the older one passes away, not away, but passes out the football club, and the younger one comes in to take his place. That's quite clearly the plan. If you've changed the plan,
that's what I mean with more years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but with Slonina, I'll be honest. We should be based on what we spent on him, right?
Yeah.
And his reputation, we should be looking to make him our first choice.
Yeah, he should be on loan for 5 years in different leagues. That's what he should be on loan.
I'll be real. I don't think he should. I think it's 3 years. I think 3 years max.
I think the league. I think for Serena, where did he actually go on loan? Does anyone remember?
It was a Belgian club. I can't remember what club though.
What I mean is now, I think he should go on loan next season. I think
no. What club did he go on loan?
Yeah.
He's at a Belgian club that's near the relegation zone.
Season coming up, he should be now going on loan again, but the league quality has got to be higher. So whether that's Dutch, whether that's Portuguese,
I'd send him to the. I'll be real. I'd send him to the Championship next season.
Maybe to the Championship, maybe to Strasbourg.
I wouldn't mind that.
Actually, no.
He plays for Eupen. Eupen? Is that how you say Eupen? Eupen?
Whatever. Yeah, or maybe that Portuguese club we're going to buy or something. Probably come out in the summer that we bought a Portuguese club. But,
happens.
I think what I would do with Petrovic this summer is obviously keep him, the main training for Petrovic this summer is to work on his feet. Yeah. And I do believe he can get better with his feet. It's not, listen, he can get better with his feet. It's not like a disastrous thing like when Arsenal tried to make Peter Cech do it when he was like 32, 33 years old and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? There's still something there that he can do. The only thing about the goalkeepers market is the only one that comes to mind is Diogo Costa. He's in the 25-26 range. You have like,
again, he's going to cost you like 70 million.
Whatever happened to that one goalkeeper from the Spanish league, the one we were linked to?
The Georgian one. Billy or something like that.
Yeah. Where did he stay at his club?
Is he still in the market?
He's still Valencia.
I think he's still there. Was it Sociedad? Is he at Sociedad or something like that?
I think it's Valencia.
No, Valencia.
He was at Valencia when we were linked to him.
Yeah,
right.
same club Jackson came from.
Yeah, he's still there.
But so the goalkeeping situation is very, very weird this summer. Kepa's going to come back. He's still going to have a year left. I would just take any. I swear to God. Kepa. I wouldn't look for any profit. I wouldn't look for any profit on Kepa whatsoever. I would have another loan to see out your contract, and then you're gone like Danny Drinkwater situation.
Yeah, just let it go, man.
Starina, I'd send out on loan again. Sanchez, I'd just get rid of. Like I'd sell him for whatever. I don't care now. I don't even bother making a profit. You're not going to get a profit.
It's not like we spent that much on it, anyways.
We spent 25 million. Poch has made a decision on Sanchez because he's not putting back into the team. So he's made his decision on Sanchez. Sanchez is not.
No.
Is he even on the bench anymore?
The thing is, Andrew. He got hurt, but he did make a decision on Sanchez. He brought him back in and then dropped him immediately.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. He's made a decision on it.
It's not even like it's worse than. It's worse than not. I say it's not. It's worse than not bringing him back in. He brought him back in and then dropped him.
Brought him back for Leicester,
and then he got injured.
Okay.
But so I think he came back. He played that one cup game, was garbage against Leicester, got dropped for the next league game, and then got injured.
Right.
He was going to be the cup goalkeeper, I think. But yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Against Leicester sums up Sanchez in terms of how he plays, and I can't have that. And I, as well, listen, Petrovic's got limitations because he's only just starting. He's 24, 25, so he's not even in his prime. But Saturday was the first time. Saturday was the first time when he was kicking out. I had sort of trepidation and sort of nervousness because he gave Thiago Silva a hospital pass in the early stages of the first half.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, stop playing out the back, just hoof it. I don't care if it just I'm not here for playing out the back, just hoof it. That's the only time this season where I've gone, And then he pulled up, and then he had a few decent saves the rest of the game, but that's going to be very important. Whether I'm presuming Poch is still going to be whether he sees Petrovic as his number one going forward. But you're right. I think unless I don't think we should go for Magnon because he is very injury prone, as seen this season. And if you're injury prone as a goalkeeper, that should be the biggest red flag. Yeah, red flag you've ever seen in your life. If you're injury prone as a goalkeeper, Ortega's contract talks at City have stalled, and I think he's now looking and going, it's the time I need to do something like Keller at Liverpool.
I need to be a number one. Yeah.
I was about to say it's a similar situation. It's the situation that all keepers of that level, most keepers of that level, because he is good, get to when they're at a club like this. Like, this is going to be a weird comparison because the guy I'm about to mention is not as good. But it's similar to how Matt Turner felt at Arsenal, where it's like you got to a stage where I'm never going to replace this guy in front of me. I want to play because I think I'm good enough, so I need to go and move to get that move. And he got his move to Nottingham Forest, and now he's second. And Zach Steffen went back to the MLS, and Matt Turner is now second choice at Nottingham Forest.
Unfortunately,
I get what you're saying now.
Unfortunately, for so many years.
Emiliano Martinez is probably the good.
Unfortunately, were for so many years to have Cech and Cudicini.
Yeah.
As 1 and 2 goals.
Oh yeah.
Cudicini as your number 2. Joe, lucky we were, and he didn't complain. Even Willie Caballero, like as a number 2, was very good. and stuff like that.
I don't recall Hilario being terrible either.
Oh, Hilario was one of the slowest divers of
No,
goalkeepers
Hilario
in
was
the world. Oh my
Hilario was
God.
a different shade of off.
Lord.
But yeah, like, and that's the thing. But that's he is
He
going
was
to
a
be
cup keeper.
where he wants to move.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when it comes, I will say when it comes to goalkeeper this season or in the summer, I don't think that's a position we should be. And this is where I say that should be a position where we spend heavily on for me, because there are other areas we need to focus on first. Like goalkeeper for me, I'll be real. Getting a new goalkeeper, we actually managed to sell Sanchez because I would have gone.
No, I agree.
There's no another goalkeeper unless you can get like an Ortega for a good price, or you can get like, I know a lot of people seem to rate that Bento guy who's now number 12. I think he's the Brazil number 3, but he was the guy in goal for Brazil when England played Brazil in that friendly.
Okay.
He's for a Brazilian team. I can't remember which Brazil. I want to say Atletico Mineiro. I think plays for one of the Brazilian teams. Yeah, I know a lot of people seem to rate him. But it's like, unless you can get a guy like that on a decent price, we have way too many areas. We still need to address left back. We may potentially need 2 if they decide to sell Cucurella as well, which after that game on Saturday, after this season in general, but especially after that game on Saturday, shouldn't. He was arguably our best player.
Sell Chilwell. Don't care.
I'll get rid of Chilwell. And I'm not even asking for Cucurella to be the starter. Go and get me a new starter and have Cucurella as a left back. Because the thing as well is that you get Cucurella as the guy who you bring on in games to see out games because he's better defensively.
Just go
and have your in left back.
And that's the thing that I think for me damns Poch the most is the left back situation.
100%. We still need to like address the striker situation. For me, I would get another in. Again, it would have to be the right kind of guy, an older guy who isn't going to play a lot. I'd still get another midfielder in, so you're less reliant on Lavia coming back. Ugachuk, who can go out on loan, like you fucking should have done in the beginning. It means that we can sell Gallagher because he won't have to play in the pivot. So I think we could do with another midfielder. That's 3 positions I've named already. I'm addressing centre back as well. That's 4 positions we should address before goalkeeper, unless you can get a good deal.
So I'm presuming the hotels that we sell are going to be put through and ratified, because I haven't heard anything since that's a problem. And I've had some crazy. Bear in mind, I've been on Spaces Day listening in. I've had some crazy rumors from people that think they know things. So I won't say anything here. Because it was just I couldn't. It was like listen, they were so impassioned that if you didn't know, or if you didn't know anyone and just dropped in, you would have really believed them. Maybe it will happen, but there's still a lot to do. Thiago Silva's going to go. There's question marks over Wesley Fofana's fitness. There's rumours today that we might be listening to for Badiashile, which I don't understand. I know he's had a torrid time this season, but I just think he's been thrown in the deep end too many times, not allowed to build up performances in his fitness. Disasi, listen, I think second half of the season's obviously been worse than the first half for me. But bearing in mind that
he was bought as a backup.
Yeah, but I think now with like Thiago Silva going and Wesley Fofana and stuff like that, if we're actually going to be fine with profit sustainability and financial fair play, and also I think everyone goes, oh well, if you make a European place, you're not going to pass UEFA's one. Yeah, but UEFA's one, if you don't pass it, it's just a fine. So you can still play European competition, you just pay a fine. That's all it is at this moment in time. They don't ban you from Europe. But I think there's a chance Chalobah stays.
Honestly, if Poch stays, I think Chalobah does stay, because it seems like he's I really do. He's been pretty good in recent games. I think he had a masterclass against Manchester City, which is very hard to say because oftentimes when he plays a big team, he's always made some bozo error that is covered up by Silva or a previous defender we used to have, Rudiger, Christensen, so on and so forth. But I think he held his own, and I think he's finally growing into his career, and what kind of a defender he's going to be.
Our centre back targets, no matter the age, should be well known, established.
Yes,
not potential. Should be well known, established.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no matter where they play, no matter what club they play for, no matter what age they are.
Who's the one that
it
we're
should
linked
be
with?
like,
Sporting?
it should be like.
Yeah, Mando.
You know what? There's doubt. You know what? Get Christensen back.
I wouldn't mind that.
Well established. Well established. You know, he wouldn't come back. Go get Rudiger. You know, you know what I mean? It's it's stuff like that. It's like those names. You know, go get Tomori or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But
I mean, it should be somewhere where we go. Yeah, we don't care what age they are, but they're established. Same with the midfielder as well. Whether it's a sub or not, it should be somewhere where we go. Okay, that's fine. Same with the striker.
Yeah. And going back to the striker, right? Yeah, and I'll give my, I guess, thoughts on the game tomorrow, and then we can wrap it up. But even though Nicholas Jackson had the howler he had against City, there's no doubt in my mind, because I know, Andrew, you said he reminds you of Solomon Kalou.
Yeah,
I think I agree with that. That's not to say, in my opinion, that he can't improve, because I feel like from the beginning of the season versus where he's at now, he has improved. He has become a better player. You could say it's AFCON, you could say it's Poch, you could say whatever it is. So I think time will tell, but I am confident that Nicholas Jackson will improve and eventually could be a number one striker for Chelsea if he hasn't, have his spot taken by one that we bring in that is a set striker. So time will tell with Jackson. I do have confidence in that this player will improve and prove us all wrong, and not all of us wrong. I mean, us in the panel, we know that he's not the guy yet, but there are people online that obviously have different opinions, and I hope he does prove them wrong. So I have faith Nicholas Jackson will come good. As far as the game tomorrow, I think this is going to be an important one for Nicholas Jackson as well. Whether he scores a goal or not, I think he's going to play a big part. And if Cole Palmer does play, which there could, do we know why he was even ruled out? Fatigue,
it's an illness.
knock.
They haven't said what illness is. Just says illness. So whether it's like a cold or a stomach bug or something, I don't know.
He could be fine for the game. So I think he manages to play.
It's a stomach bug. Play, score a goal, and shit on the halfway line, and then get on with it.
Pull an Eric Dyer.
Shit in Arteta's
for the Gary Lineker. It was Gary Lineker the shit.
Yeah, he did. He shat on the actual World Cup semi-final. You actually see him on the ground, like the old videos. He's shitting on the pitch, but he's like trying to rub it out.
That's horrible.
It's gross, yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting. So, yeah.
How you just live tackle with that guy after he just shat himself on the pitch?
Oh, please, no. That's so gross.
That mud smells weird. Why is that mud smelling weird for him?
The manager's asking you to play on the line on the wing. He's like, nope, I'm not going over there. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, I think tomorrow it'll be close, but I can see us by some miracle just a 2-1 victory. I've been all over the place with this score today.
Something.
Because at first I was thinking 2-1 loss, but now I really think Nicholas Jackson will come good. I do trust this guy. So up until he frustrates me with the extra touch.
You're saying that of all people is wild, by the way.
I know. Listen, as much as I have that touchy agenda with him, where he does take that extra touch and annoys me to all hell, he does everything else right, and I like that about him. So I think a 2-1 victory, boys. But all right, we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much to TJ for coming on and doing the preview with us. Thank you everyone who stuck around as well. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on. And yeah, ladies and gents, and Scott, also thank you, and Oliver as well, who was Larry last minute for Oliver, but he made it through anyways. Big up to everyone. Big up to all our members as well. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like the video. It all helps us out tremendously. Be sure to also leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts, what your score prediction might be. Let me actually set up a raid out because we have a decent amount of people on here. And if you are here, if you just arrived here, be sure to smash the like and stay tuned because, you know, we're going to be raiding out to, I don't know who, but we're going to raid out to something. So that being said, big up to everyone. Again, check out the links in the description. And we do have the shout outs. If you are proper casual and higher tier, I do give out shout outs to you. So big shout outs to the following proper casual and higher members: Suproten, M3, Adam CFC, Wasabi Meets World, Horizont, Hereditar, B-Man, JC, Ishi, A Salimon, EE, Hassan Nawaz, Uncle Gestures, Will, OG Turbo Jesus, Dark, Adrian, Adam CFC, Pelu, and Koku 624. Yeah, our list is growing. Our memberships are growing. And the guys,
Adam
if you
CFC
haven't,
getting that double shout out.
yeah, Adam CFC. Wait, Adam CFC got a double shout out. Oh, thank you, appreciate
Yeah,
that,
he got a double
Scott.
shout out.
Well, Coco also got a double shout out because I forgot him last stream. So big up to you guys. We're gonna rate out to. Let's see who we can rate out to. There's no one on right now, so I guess I'll just rate out.
Chic TV's on if you got a link to Chic TV.
Who? How do you spell that?
Chic. So SHIK TV.
SHIK Chic TV. Okay, sure, we'll do that.
Yeah, he's on Sarcasm City a lot. So.
Okay, fair enough. We'll rate out to Chic TV. Be sure to copy and paste the raid message.
Oh
right
yeah,
there,
TK.
guys.
We saw the Drogba tweet. We pulled up earlier.
Yeah, I respect it, man. Yeah, we saw the Drogba tweet. We spoke about a lot of things as well. But yeah, ladies and gents, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you again tomorrow for the match reaction to Arsenal versus Chelsea. And once again, we'll see you on Wednesday because there's another Casually Chelsea show on Wednesday. Big up to everyone. I'll see you later. And as always, have a wonderful night. Stay casual. Peace.